Honestly, I gotta tell you, I ain't really tryna do nothing but for your love, for your love, for your love, for your love. I ain't really tryna do nothing but for your love, for your love, for your love, for your love.
Okay, you know who it is. No mystery, man, to the truth. Mr. Mozy, aka Mr. Universal. And what we got today is actually a book review. It's mandatory from class, but I did enjoy some aspects of the book, but I think my book is gonna come way harder. So what we're gonna do is just go ahead and give a brief overview. My teacher assigned us some questions and we had to make a video for it. So I said, hey, might as well add it to the YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Expand a couple intellectual capacities, you know, or worst come to worst, just give you a few things to think about. So boom, title of the book. Well, first let me tell you, the book was written by a man named Carlos Wallace. The title of it is Life is Not Complicated, You Are. Which is pretty decent. I enjoy the title because I'm a fan, a big enthusiast of self-help books, which I typed in my paper. Y'all won't get to see, but I'm a big fan of self-help. That's what I personally chose to write in the category of. So we're just gonna go ahead and answer a few of these questions. So starting off with a foundation. Who or what is your foundation? Well, I believe, honestly, I have a lot of examples in my life, but I don't have too many positive examples. I have a lot of what not to do, not what should I be doing. So honestly, I take the role of discovering a lot of, you know what I'm saying, positive routes, a lot of sources of inspiration, and I have to, you know what I'm saying, it comes within me. I don't find too much externally. So I say that comes from me, but my inspiration is from my little cousin, you know what I'm saying, that's what I do it for. Shout out to Drayton. So, Drayton and Drayshawn, his little brother, you know, that's all I do it for. So, or what is your foundation? And there we go. Boom, so it's him. Where's the place where you feel most grounded? Well, I mean, truly, I've become inclined to put myself in places where I feel uncomfortable just to develop a sense of, you know, just to work on my sense of, I guess, adapting to environments, right? So truly, I go out feeling comfortable wherever I go, but inside home by myself is where, you know, it's where I'm centered. I can, you know, keep a handle on all things, and I have, you know, as much freedom and as much restriction as I need because I provided myself. So, what is your safe place? The environment you believe the most growth is advantageous. Home. That's why I wrote my book. That's why I do a lot of my exercise. Well, I go to the gym, but yeah, home. That's where I do a lot of my studying, my researching. I watch YouTube videos, watch different speakers, and that's where most of my growth comes from. Please identify the places in your life where you may have been rocky or unsteady. Oh, I'm 22, and the places I have been rocky or unsteady was age 1. Was from age 1 to about 18, 19. About 18, 19. Because my transition to 19, 20, I was always kind of a balanced individual, and I was never really too, what's that word? It's another word for lazy. I don't know. I never really was too lazy. I always had like a little motivation about me, but I didn't really get focus and concentration and centering until about 19, 20, 21, 22. So you can see, you know, I've been 4 years developed on my current path. So moving on to the next one, we got adversity. So discuss one pivotal obstacle that made you develop the change for better. Name a challenge that changed you for the worse. Which obstacle ultimately defines you? Okay, sheesh, hold on, that's a lot. Discuss one pivotal obstacle that made you develop and change for the better. Okay, we're gonna start with that one. So change it for the better, right? One obstacle that really made me change for the better was after I received I kind of got a C in freshman comp, and I don't know how I got it. I don't know if my essays weren't just really that good. I don't know. But then I kind of started pulling my a focus away from engineering, and it pulled me towards like literature, which then ended up spiraling and developing into my idea of writing a book or self-publishing. And this was kind of that, like, facing that. I don't know. I took it again, got an A in the summer because it was easy. I honestly don't know what happened. But yeah, that kind of made me mad. So I said, you know what I'm saying, there was just a huge way to prove that to myself, because that wasn't like me. Name something that challenged you and that changed you for the worse. Name a challenge that changed you for the worse. I don't know. I don't think of too many things to be a negative change. Honestly, if something bad happens, it's just an example. Like if a friend, you know what I'm saying, turns out to not really be a friend, I just kind of chalk it up as, oh, I should have known. You know what I'm saying? I should have been able to observe. I wasn't paying enough attention. So at the end, you know, it just kind of reminds me to expand my awareness, or honestly just know who you're around more. So I guess that changed me for the worst is, I don't know. I learned a lesson from everything. I gotta go on to the next one. Which obstacle ultimately defines you? Accomplishing this book. If I can accomplish this book, I will have perfectly harmonized or unified two very separate opposing forces, which are truly complements to each other in the end, which is what the book entails. It'll be out probably in about 2 to 3 months. Please keep me grounded to that. Hold me to that, because I am a man who meets deadlines, but stuff happens, you know, and I try not to make excuses, but you know, mostly financial strengths, you know, and that must be taken care of first. So the continuation and the publication of this book, this is what I said I would do, and that's what I plan to do. You feel me? That was a little choppy, but your life, part D, your life, use direct examples and quotes from the book. So I'm not gonna use the quotes, so we're just gonna talk about my life. Who was privileged and who was not, and why were they privileged, or did it appear that way, or why did it appear that way? Honestly, privilege just came with an abundance of financial, you know, I don't want to say stability or freedom, but just an abundance of finances. I mean, you know, if somebody was getting a new phone, a new clothes, new backpack, you understood they were privileged. Why? Because they got new stuff, you know, and hopefully they could afford it, and their parents are making poor financial choices. I don't like saying finances over and over, but anyway, what obstacle got in the way of achieving your goal due to alleged privilege? Well, I was raised like middle class, and you know, I'm black and white, so I got to see my black family, got to see my white family, and it was, you know, I could tell I had it relatively easier than my black family, relatively either the same or a little bit less than my white family. But I would say, you know, I did have to find like a source of fire, you know what I'm saying, to put under myself as like motivation. So because there was, you know, I really had the necessities taken care of, and after, you know, naturally without the superficial world or like social cultural standards, you know, after you're good, after you survived, you know, after you acquired enough resources, you tend to fall back on enthusiasm to keep conquering, basically. So is everyone afforded the same opportunities in life? To some degree, I believe not everyone starts off in the same places, but with the opportunities that are awarded or afforded to everyone, I don't know which term to use, that are awarded or afforded to everyone, that they can, you know, capitalize off of those and turn a disadvantageous situation into an advantageous one. So is everyone afforded the same opportunities? Yes, there may be more on one side than the other, but yeah, you got the chance. Take advantage of it. How did you feel when you finally thought you had it all figured out, and only to have the goal change position? In addition, additional obstacles added that you were not made aware of. Well, that's the problem with thinking that you know it all. And truly, people who have, you know, an abundance of intelligence, or just a great understanding of the world around them, they know the more they learn, the more that, you know, opens up that they need to learn more. You know, if I learn about biology, then it goes into genealogy, physiology, anatomy. You know, I can go into all of these different subdivisions fields, and I know that each field has a, you know, infinite amount of information into it, with new discoveries, new theories and stuff like that. So I mean, it's, you know, the more you know, the more you don't know, basically, is what I'm saying. Yeah, so I mean, I guess writing this book, if I had to give an example, it'd be writing the book, and I learned how much goes into self-publishing. I learned how to actually structure a book. Like you kind of read it, and I used to skip the intro, the preface. I used to, not really examine like how they ordered the table of contents. I didn't pay too much intricate detail, but now like I'm getting it. Like, every piece is important. Every single piece. If it is not important, it will not be in the book. Know that. So how did making a change to alter your goal impact your life? Okay, how did making a change to alter your goal impact your life? Well, I mean, this is adaptability. This is the fluidity aspect. If you get into my book, I talk about fluidity versus rigidity. Rigidity is more of like confidence or physical structure or foundation. Fluidity is more like changeability, adaptation, or emulation, or just coexisting, basically. one's setting the standard to be met, and one's meeting the standard set, right? That's the two different forces, two different piles. So this is meeting the standard. This is meeting the goal that you set, right? This is how you're gonna do it. And I had to take more time out, take it more seriously, devote more time. While I do have a compound of school on top of it as well, which is what I'm balancing. I set the goal, so get it done, right? Right. Success. Who or what defines success? Who or what defines success? And this one is, I remember this part from the book very well. And they were saying that those who defy or who don't believe in you in the beginning are quick to say, I always believed in you, which is common. You can see that with even minor experiences of success. Like if you do good on like in a sports competition, and then you get a new fame, popularity, and then you can see the result of this. But from early on, I learned hard lesson that some people are impossible to please. Some people are just impossible to please, and after that I said, freak it, I'm taking it all internal. If I meet my goal, then good. If I don't, then bad. Yes, of course I would like to be above average, or just a little more helpful than the individuals around me, or at least try to make myself a little more helpful than individuals around me. But so it's just, if I can do better, then it's success. If I did worse than I did at the time before, then it I didn't learn anything. So I need to take some more time and learn some more. So what life-changing experiences did you encounter while reading this novel? I guess it was one part in it where I learned about comfort, and how comfort comes from self-acceptance. And I never really correlated the two because they seem kind of anonymous. They opposite. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they seem like opposites, right? Well, almost in a sense. They just didn't seem parallel. So, but when I really got to thinking about it, okay, with full self-acceptance comes then a little bit of courage, which then comes a little bit of, I think it's calmness, then confidence, and then pride or something like that. I guess confidence and pride are the same thing, but it's like a stair stepping. First, once you self-accept yourself, then you can build on it. Now you have a little bit to build on it, and then you just keep reconfirming, reassuring that previous step, that you are comfortable, or and that's what kind of happens when you take a negative step too. When you do something bad, and now you have to continue doing bad stuff to reconfirm that this is the unfortunate part of life. But how do you change your perception in viewing others' life? How do you change your perception through viewing another's worldview? How you have changed. I think it's how have you changed your perception through viewing another world's view. Okay, I think what she's trying to say is basically whenever someone offers a differing opinion, how can that help construct your opinion? Construct your opinion, or do you take it in and acknowledge it all? Well, so I don't tend to agree with a lot of people, but I do hear a lot of people out. I have a strong sense of belief, in the information I have acquired, and I continue to, back and support. While I can be, biased, because I want to find things that support, what I believe. But I try to be open-minded. I try to be accepting the other viewpoints. Honestly, if you can trace your viewpoint to a particular area and their viewpoint to a particular area, you now have two paths of, synapses or neurons firing a potential to solve a solution. So you just made yourself truly twice as capable as you were, previously in the conversation. So at the end of the day, I say that's a win. Set 3 goals for yourself and plan on how you impact your community. Okay, all right, so goals for yourself and plan how they can impact. I guess that's what you mean, how they can impact your community. So 3 goals right now. We're gonna do the book. I want to make 10 million before the age of 30, honestly. 10 million before the age of 30, which will come from a lot of passive incomes, hopefully in majority active income, obviously. And when I get after 30, I plan to retire and kind of swap those. We're gonna have more passive than active, so hopefully that's how it plays out. So I got the money goal, and then the book, and then I have I want to get into something like I guess the impact your community part is honestly, it's gonna come through the book. And if I have enough finances, I can develop programs to physically impact the community. And I guess honestly, after that, just become a health nutritionist and just work on dietetics, or just getting everyone in line physically first. Then they can get in line non-physically, and then they can begin to control their physical external, and then adapt to their non-physical, and then create like a balanced person. So okay, so hey, that's it. Shout out to Carlos Wallace. This was actually, I give it a solid 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, just because I enjoy more psychological studies, more biological principles. I want to go in deep into the scientific aspect of it, and not more of the observable, but the apparent, or the quantifiable instead of the quantitative instead of the qualitative aspects. There we go, boom. So I want to know, how information is stored in your brain, what part it goes through, from the hippocampus to the frontal lobe to the, how the process goes. So that's what made it more exciting for me. That's what my book personally entails. But it seems like it impacted a lot of people, and hey, it's one more good deed, one more good act set into the world. So hey, I support it. Congrats, y'all go buy his book. You can get it. There's an audio version. I think you can purchase it for $10, maybe $15. And it has some useful facts, we had a lot of similarities between mine and Mr. Wallace's book. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Where's my thing? Okay, here we go.
I love you, Bobby.
My chains on like a light show. Turn the lights off, hit the radio. Ain't nothing on but the radio. Like Felicio, call it give and go. My chains on like a light show. Turn the lights off, hit the radio. Ain't nothing on but the radio. Like Felicio, call it give and go. I'm on a mission, I get it. Just heard y'all niggas was tripping.